Late at night, my daughter's husband tiptoed into my room while I lay still, pretending to sleep. He opened my drawer, searching for the safe keys, but the sight that met him inside left him numb, his hands shaking. It all started with a phone call that hit me like a punch to the gut. My daughter Lauren, my only kid, called me one Tuesday morning, her voice shaking like she was holding back tears. "Dad, I know it's early," she said, "but Charlie lost his job last month. We're 3 months behind on the mortgage. Can we maybe stay with you for a bit?" My heart broke hearing her like that. My little girl, 32 years old, too proud to ask for help until she had no choice. "Of course, sweetheart," I told her. "This is your home." I hung up, already pulling out the checkbook, ready to do whatever it took to keep her safe. That's what dads do, right? 3 days later, they rolled up in a U-Haul, boxes spilling out like their lives were unraveling. Lauren hugged me so tight on the doorstep, whispering thank you over and over, tears in her eyes. Charlie, her husband of 5 years, gave me a firm handshake, but his eyes were cold, scanning my house like he was casing a joint. "Nice place, David," he said, pacing my living room. "Must be worth a fortune in today's market." I brushed it off, thought he was just making small talk. Looking back, I should have seen the red flags waving like 4th of July flags. See, I've lived in Coeur d'Alene for 15 years. A quiet little suburb where the biggest drama is Mrs. Henderson's cat getting stuck in a tree. My house isn't fancy, but it's mine. Paid off, filled with memories of raising Lauren after her mom passed. I'm not rich, but I've got savings, a safe upstairs with some cash and jewelry, and a sharp mind honed by 30 years sniffing out insurance fraud. I'm no pushover, but Charlie, he thought I was just some lonely old widower, grateful for company, easy to fool. Boy, was he wrong. The first week I tried to make them feel at home, cleared out the guest closet, cooked dinners, adjusted my routines, and Lauren settled in like she'd never left. But Charlie? He was always watching, asking questions that didn't sit right. "What's the neighborhood watch schedule, David? You keep cash in the house? Ever thought about a security system?" Innocent enough on the surface, but I started noticing how his eyes lingered when I went to the bank, how he hovered when I checked my mail. Financial statements started showing up for him. Credit card companies, collection agencies. He'd snatch them up, claim they were nothing. But I knew better. I'd seen too many desperate people in my career to miss the signs. Then came the dinner that changed everything. We're sitting around my oak dining table, forks clinking, Lauren laughing about some old memory, when Charlie leans in, all casual-like. "So, David, that safe upstairs, what kind of lock's on it?" The room went quiet. Lauren choked on her water, shooting him a look. "Charlie, what kind of question is that?" But his eyes stayed locked on mine, predatory, like a coyote sizing up prey. My chest tightened, but I played it cool, setting my fork down. "Just curious about home security," he said, flashing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "With all the break-ins around here." Break-ins? In Coeur d'Alene? I'd lived here 15 years without so much as a stolen garden gnome. "What break-ins?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. He waved it off. "Oh, you probably don't hear about them. They keep it quiet to avoid panic, bull." I knew a liar when I saw one. 30 years in insurance taught me that. But he kept pushing, asking about my bank, my keys, my serious security measures. Lauren shifted uncomfortably, trying to change the subject, but Charlie wouldn't let up. Then he dropped the bomb. "Does she know about the key? The one in your bedroom drawer?" My blood ran cold. How the hell did he know about a key in my bedroom? I kept my face neutral, but my mind was racing. "How do you know about any key?" I have dans the buffet. Oh, I asked, sharper than I meant to. His mask slipped for a second. Something cold and calculating flashed across his face before he smoothed it over. "I was looking for aspirin last week," he said, all charm. "Accidentally opened the wrong drawer." "Sorry, didn't mean to invade your privacy." Lauren nodded, backing him up. But I remembered that day. He'd been upstairs for 30 minutes, claiming a stomachache. Aspirin's in the bathroom cabinet, always has been. He wasn't looking for medicine. He was snooping. That night, after they went to bed, I stood in my kitchen, scrubbing dishes to calm my nerves. Every question Charlie asked replayed in my head, my bank, my routines, my safe, Red flags I'd ignored because I wanted to trust Lauren's husband. But something had shifted. My house didn't feel safe anymore. It felt watched. I climbed the stairs, my heart heavy, and noticed my bedroom door slightly ajar. I always close it. 40 years of living alone makes you particular. I pushed it open and everything looked normal at first. Bed made, glasses on the nightstand, lamp where I left it. But my eyes, trained by decades of catching cheats, spotted the tells. My closet door was open 4 inches. Never leave it like that. My dresser drawer, the one with my important papers, wasn't flush. A manila folder peeked out, and the small brass key I kept taped under the drawer's lip, gone. Rage hit me like a freight train, not fear. Someone had been in my room, rifling through my life, my privacy, my daughter's future. I checked the safe in my closet, still locked, but Charlie had the key to the manual override. He'd been in here planning while Lauren and I were downstairs, trusting him. I closed the drawer, left everything as it was. If he thought he was slick, I'd let him believe it. I wasn't some helpless old man. I was a man with a plan. Sleep didn't come that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, every creak of the house amplified. At 11:47 p.m., I heard footsteps downstairs. Heavy, deliberate. Not Lauren's light step. Charlie. I eased out of bed, barefoot on the cold hardwood, and crouched by the heating vent. Old houses carry sound in funny ways, and his voice drifted up, clear as a bell. Yeah, it's me. Everyone's asleep. The old man's definitely loaded. Bank statements, investment portfolios, serious money. My blood froze. He wasn't alone in this. Tomorrow night, he said. Lauren's at her book club, 7 to 9. Perfect timing. I've got the safe key already. Grabbed it while they were at dinner. The old fool keeps everything in there. Cash, jewelry, probably more. Then the kicker, my gambling debts aren't going away. Those guys aren't patient. This has to happen now. Gambling debts. It all clicked. His job loss, the collection notices, the lies. He called me a lonely old widower. Said I'd never suspect family. That Lauren would cover for him. Convinced me I'd misplaced stuff. By Thursday, we'll be gone, he said. I'll tell Lauren I got a job offer out of state. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and hit record. His voice, smug and sneering, filled the silence. When the call ended, I saved the file, slipped the phone under my pillow, and lay back down. Charlie thought he was playing me, but I'd spent 30 years outsmarting crooks just like him. Game on. The next morning I played my part. Tired old David, frying eggs, pouring coffee. Lauren came down, all smiles, grateful to be home. Charlie followed, looking like a man who'd already won. Beautiful morning, and he said, sipping my coffee. What's everyone got planned? I mentioned errands, hardware store, maybe the bank. His eyes lit up at bank, a tiny twitch near his left eye betraying him. Everything okay financially? He asked, all fake concern. Lauren laughed. Dad's always paranoid about checking his accounts in person. I nodded. Not paranoid, Ayana. Careful as at the hardware store, I grabbed a confetti cannon, yep, the kind for gender reveal parties, and a bag of ultra-fine glitter, silver and gold. Back in my basement workshop, I turned that party toy into a thief's nightmare. I swapped the confetti for glitter, calibrated the spring to trigger when someone reached deep into my dresser drawer, right where the key used to be. I added a dummy key, a luggage key that looked close enough to fool him in a hurry. The setup was perfect. He'd reach in, expecting victory, and get a face full of sparkly justice. I wasn't done. At Best Buy, I picked up a wireless security camera with night vision, small enough to hide among the books on my nightstand. I tested the angle, made sure it'd catch Charlie's every move, his sneaky entrance, his greedy hands, the glitter explosion. Motion activated, hours of battery life, crystal clear audio. If he muttered a word, I'd have it. My bedroom looked innocent, but it was a trap, wired and ready. That night, dinner was quiet. Lauren talked about the neighborhood. Charlie checked his phone obsessively. I played the tired grandpa, yawning, rubbing my temples. Long day, I said. Think I'll turn in early. Charlie jumped on it, suggesting a nightcap, pushing a glass of my Macallan whiskey. Just a sip, he insisted, even after I said my blood pressure meds didn't mix with booze. His desperation was pathetic. Guy was trying to drug me, make sure I slept through his heist. I declined, said I'd take a sleeping pill, and watched the relief wash over his face. Knocks me out till morning, I lied. He bought it. Upstairs, I double-checked the camera and glitter trap, then lay in bed, fully clothed, watching the hallway through my cracked door. At 2:43 a.m., I heard him, soft steps on the stairs, avoiding the creaky spots. He'd learned my house well. My phone showed the camera feed, my dark bedroom, waiting. Charlie slipped in, a shadow in black, thinking I was out cold. He moved to the dresser, opened the drawer, and reached in. Boom! The glitter bomb went off like a New Year's Eve finale. Silver and gold exploded, coating him head to toe. He stumbled back, cursing, a walking disco ball. I sat up, flipping on the lamp with Oscar-worthy confusion. Charlie? What the hell are you doing in my bedroom? He stood there, glittering, holding the dummy key, stammering about hearing a noise. Lauren's footsteps thundered down the hall. Dad, are you okay? She called, then froze, taking in her sparkling husband. Charlie, why do you look like a Christmas ornament? She asked, voice sharp. He tried spinning a story, looking for sleep aids, checking for intruders, but Lauren wasn't buying it. My meds are in the bathroom, I said calmly. Always have been. Her eyes narrowed and I saw her love for him crack. Why were you in my dad's dresser at 3 a.m., she demanded. I reached for my phone. Lauren, you need to hear something. Charlie went pale as I played the recording. His voice, plotting to rob me, mocking me, admitting his gambling debts. Lauren's face crumpled, tears streaming as she heard him plan to use her as cover, to vanish with her into his mess. Gambling debts, she whispered. You were going to rob my father? Charlie had nothing left. No lies, no charm. Get out, Lauren said, her voice ice. Get out of my father's house. He tried arguing about their marriage, his share, but she shut him down. You broke our vows when you planned a felony against my family. Glitter still falling, he grabbed his bags and left, tires screeching into the night. Lauren stayed, rebuilding her life. 3 months later, she's thriving at her new library job, and I'm back to my quiet mornings, coffee and newspaper in hand. The house feels like home again. No laces, no tension. Mrs. Henderson even asked me to install a security system, thanks to my innovative methods. Maybe I should patent that glitter bomber trap. Sometimes justice comes from a courtroom. Sometimes it comes from trusting your gut and setting a sparkly trap. Charlie thought he could play me, but he forgot one thing. This old man's been outsmarting cons longer than he's been alive. And justice? It sure does shine. Thanks for listening, folks. If this story hit you, drop a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what would you have done in my shoes? Stay sharp out there. Sharp.